Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm doing a recording of the full book called The Value of Time by Shaykh Abd Abu Ghuddah. The reason I'm doing this is because I've read this book this year, 2021, and I've found that it is the most inspirational and motivational book that I've read by far this year, maybe even since I read the Quran. I don't know if any other book has affected me in the way this one has. It's only a small book. I believe it's around 80 pages, which would probably clock in at less than 2 hours time. So what I'll do in this section, I'm going to read the blurb, tell you what you can expect from this book, and then maybe start with the introduction. The Value of Time is a collection of amazing sayings and wonderful stories of the scholars of the Muslim Ummah, which indicate to the importance they attached to time. It is a book that will inspire the youth and the old alike to spend their time constructively and avoid wasting time. The stories narrated, unimaginable as they may be, are not fables or fairy tales, but are all authentic events that have been well documented and narrated by scholars themselves. The author, Al-Fattah Abu Ghuddah, was one of the prominent scholars of the 20th century and a veteran leader of the Islamic movement in Syria. The Value of Time by Al-Fattah Abu Ghuddah, translated by Yusra al-Ghanouchi. Shaykh Al-Fattah Abu Ghuddah was born in Syria in 1917. One of the outstanding Muslim scholars of the 20th century, Shaykh Abu Ghuddah was a leading scholar in the field of Hadith and Hanafi school of fiqh. He studied in Syria and Egypt, specializing in Arabic language, Hadith, Sharia, and psychology. He has many prominent teachers, among them Shaykh Raghib al-Tabakh, Shaykh Ahmed ibn Muhammad al-Zarqa, Shaykh Isa al-Bayanuni, Shaykh Ahmed al-Kurdi, and the renowned Ottoman scholar Imam al-Kawthari. He taught Usul al-Fiqh, Hanafi Fiqh, and Comparative Fiqh at the University of Damascus. He also taught at the King Saud University and Imam Muhammad ibn Saud Islamic University. He was buried in Al-Baqi Cemetery in Medina, 1997. Forward. Shaykh Abd Abu Ghuddah, 1917 to 1997, the author of the present work, was one of the leading scholars of the 20th century, especially in the field of Hadith and the sciences related to Hadith. He was taught by over 200 scholars, drawn from the fields of Hadith, Fiqh, and other Islamic disciplines. Among them, the renowned Ottoman scholar and expert of Fiqh, Hadith, and the science of Rijal, Imam Sahid al-Kawthari. Shaykh Abu Ghuddah taught Usul al-Fiqh, Fiqh, and Comparative Fiqh at the University of Damascus. He also taught at the King Saud University and Imam Muhammad ibn Saud University. The Shaykh was a traditionalist, muhaddith, and scholar of great repute, with an in-depth knowledge of the history of scholarship and scholars in Islam. He has written extensively on different aspects of Hadith, Fiqh, and Islamic education, and his books are a model of objective historical scholarship. He has created an extraordinarily rich and detailed mosaic of scholarship and learning in the Islamic world. As author of numerous valuable books, he was eminently qualified to undertake this present task entitled The Value of Time in the Lives of Scholars. We are fortunate to have this work undertaken by him. He has done extensive research to collect material for this book and illuminate the precious examples from the past. The aptitude with which he brings to life those great scholars and works of the past succeeds in bringing history to life and filling us again with invigorating and inspirational thoughts. The book provides vivid insight into a subject of great importance, not only for students and scholars, but every human being who regards time as a valuable gift from God and is keen to appreciate this gift. I cannot imagine that we will ever have a more profound portrait of the value of time and its appreciation by earlier Muslim scholars. This is a pioneering work in the sense that, according to my knowledge, it is the first study that is exclusively devoted to the value of time. In particular, the book highlights the value of time in the field of knowledge and its people. It teaches us how to appreciate this invaluable gift and blessings from God, and how to benefit from it. It reminds us of the need to manage our time well and avoid falling into excessiveness in speech, food, gatherings, and meetings. By doing this, we can achieve the most eminent legacies and the best and most lasting of deeds. The Shaykh reminds us how the pious predecessors and early scholars, who are for us a model of all good deeds and example for every virtue, valued this immense gift, and how every moment of their lives was calculated to be spent in the pursuit of knowledge. The Shaykh himself exemplified devotion to the service of knowledge and the treasuring of time. Even whilst travelling, he would keep himself busy in reading or writing. Once, while he was at the airport in Karachi, the flight was delayed, and rather than waste time, he read Anwar Shah Kashmiri's Al-Tasrih bima Tawatara fi Nuzul al-Masih to his students, Mufti Shafi and Maulana Yusuf bin Aouri, who were there to see him off. I remember when he came to England on the occasion of the Sultan of Brunei prize ceremony in his honour. I was at the airport with Maulana Sahid al-Rashidi when he left, and we spent the time until his departure reading extracts of Al-Adab al-Mufrad of Imam Bukhari, rahimullah. The Shaykh's writings embody the beauty of the Arabic language. His style is eloquent and flows smoothly, keeping the reader absorbed. I hope its readers will enjoy this book and will benefit from it. The present English translation of The Value of Time from the Arabic original by Yusra al-Ghanouchi is timely. The translator deserves congratulations in undertaking this great task and thus helping the English-speaking world gain access to this precious work. The publisher also deserves our gratitude for making it available to the English reader. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all those who participated in its production and guide us to the benefit from this effort. Muhammad Akram Nadwi, Oxford Centre for Islamic Studies, Oxford, UK, July 2003. Preface. All praise be to Allah, and that is sufficient a praise. And prayers and peace be upon his chosen servants, at the forefront of whom is our Master and Messenger, Muhammad al-Mustafa, and upon his family, his companions, his followers, and all those who were guided by them and follow them. These are a few pages which I have written to elucidate the value of time in the lives of scholars, through which I wished to highlight the value of this immense blessing that is the setting of life, in particular in the field of knowledge and its people, and how it can give rise to amazing wonders. If one knew how to benefit from it, if one managed one's time well, and avoided falling into excessiveness in speech, food, gatherings, and meetings. Thus, one would achieve the most eminent legacies and the best and most lasting of deeds. One's remembrance will be eternalized due to the benefit he has caused, along with the pious good doers. May Allah reward amply our pious predecessors and early scholars, for they were for us a model in all good deeds, and an example for every virtue. O Allah, guide us to follow their path in all matters, and enable us to benefit from our lives and our times, to use them in what makes you pleased with us, and keep us away from excessiveness in all matters. You are indeed able to do all things. And prayers and peace be upon our Master Muhammad and on his family and companions, and praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds. Shaykh Abd Abu Ghuddah, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, July 1982.